Hey, all you space cats. Welcome to the Black Hole Podcast. I'm Mitch Miller, also known as Dead Eddie, and this is Bill Earl and Dead Eddie vs. Corporate America, Episode 5. Um, so, today I'm going to talk about my job as a manager of French Creek Farms Campground in Utica, Pennsylvania, and a project I'm launching in cooperation with that business, uh, or at least a minor focus around that business of Butica, the Butica project. But first, I want to update people. If you've listened from the beginning, back when I was a coal miner, I talked about buying socks that I thought would last in the coal mines, and your heels rub a lot in those high rubber boots that you wear down in the mine. So I was going through a lot of socks. I bought a pair of Dickies socks, and I use those, and I've worn them over the past, I guess, going on 4 years now. After the coal mine, once a week, a pair once a week. I'm sorry, all 4 or 5 pairs each week. So basically 54 wears a year for the past 4 years, and I finally just went through my last pair of Dickies socks. They finally got a hole in them. So they lasted 4 years. They're good socks. Let's just hope they're not made with, slave labor, as the garment industry tends to lean towards. Anyhow, that's the update. If you followed from the beginning, I have been tracking my sock usage, and Dickies are a good investment for socks, in my opinion. So Bill is not joining me, obviously, today. Bill Earl, my partner in this season of the podcast, he has started his own tattoo parlor in Berwick, Pennsylvania, um, and it's called Original Ideas Tattoo. So, trying to promote his shop in Berwick there, if you're close to Philly or New York, Williamsport, stuff like that, Harrisburg, and looking for a tattoo. He's a great artist. He's done a lot of my work, and he's going to be also, he's offered to display some of my 35 millimeter photography. This is photography I took, 35 millimeter film, and processed it by hand, and printed it by hand. So it's never been digitized, never been in a computer. It's human to human art. He's going to display some of those photos for sale in his shop, and also sell some shirts that he designed them, but I came up with the idea. These shirts will be for sale. There's a Black Hole Podcast shirt, the design he came up with it. You'll see on this podcast, and Make Duels Not War shirts. The Duels Not War shirts will go towards ending all deadly war. All proceeds from it will go towards ending all deadly war on planet Earth. There's going to be some other shirts, like the Word Smite shirt. Any money I get from those shirts will go towards probably printing the novel Femme Party, so that I can distribute those for free out of my back garage area. To anyone that happens to walk through my alley, they can get a free printed novel. So to talk about French Creek Farms, FrenchCreekFarms.com is the campground website. We do all our booking through the website. I'm going to be managing that campground, helping out, getting wood, things like that, maintaining the campground, and Ken, the owner of the campground, has offered me 25% of bookings, probably collectible at the end of the year. So I'm going to donate. I need some money to live on, but I'm going to donate 13% of the 25%. So I'll get 12%. 13% will go towards this fund, this Butica fund that I'm proposing. It's a Project Butica. And it's a Butica project. It's a form of nonprofit focused, around delivering solar panels to Venango County at first. The details can be found at my website, trafnet.org. That's TRAFNET.org. under the Butica tab. That goes into better detail of this fund. But the fund is going to start in Venango County, and it offers solar panels to homeowners with 0% interest and very low risk. So the fund is, what we want to do is develop a web platform, a website that members can join. So there will be a forum part of the website. Members can join, put in their information, and they can donate into the fund. And all of their donations will be tracked. So if they donate $300 into the fund, that will stay under their account. And if they qualify for solar panel installation, the value of that $300 comes back to them in solar panels and installation. And I'll explain more of that later. But I've heard from a friend from high school that these independent solar panel installers, not the big national ones, they're basically, the national ones are selling you a new roof, a loan for a new roof, and a solar panel installation array at an interest rate favorable to them. That's how they make their money. This fund is dedicated to, well, as I said, the indie installers, and there's some near Barkeyville, Pennsylvania, in Venango County. They're, from what I gather, are half of the price of those big national companies, but they don't have the capability to finance the project. So that's where this fund comes into place. It's zero interest, low risk. So we're going to focus first on rural areas. That's why we're focused in Venango County, because that's where I grew up. And what we're looking for are properties with large yards where we can put the solar panels right down at near ground level, and incorporate it into the house's electrical system. And the reason for this, there's two reasons. Number one, you don't have to pay technicians a higher rate for climbing up heights and getting on a roof, and you might not have to replace a roof, things like that. We can just install them on a scaffolding down at the ground level. And the second is that we can, members are going to join this fund in order. We'll try to adhere to the order that they join the fund to where they distribute the panels. But if you don't pay, so basically, if you receive an installation of solar panels, say you paid $2,000 in, but the solar panel installation was $12,000, so you still owe $10,000 to the fund. You can make payments of $100 or so per month into the fund until it's paid off. If you don't pay for 2 months in a row, the next person in the fund will receive your solar panels. So basically, we'll finance installers coming out and taking your solar panels and moving it on to the next person in the fund. So there's low risk. We're not going to ruin your credit score if you don't pay for these solar panels, trash your credit score and put you in collections and things like that. We're simply going to, in our promissory note that you sign when you accept the terms of the solar panel installation, you give us permission to come back on your property and remove the solar panels if you don't pay for more than 2 months. So those are the two reasons we keep them in. That's why we're focused on rural instead of all the costs and finance of putting them on roofs. It's simple. We just put them out in people's yards, people that have the size yards that we're looking for, and it equals low risk and things like that. So obviously I'm always for a voting platform, so there'll be a forum section on the Butica.us website where members can chat on a probably like a wall, a bulletin board, and they'll be able to vote. So we are going to try to adhere to the order that people join the fund, but we're going to go out and get estimates on the installations, and we might try to vote in a way that's going to grow the fund the best. So, say it's $40,000 for the next property in line to get the installation and the panels they need, but there's two properties at position 4 and 5 in line that we can install what they need for $15,000 a piece. So we get two properties paying into the fund those $100, $200 payments a month. So we might those are things that we can vote on, and we're going to be transparent and vote on the progression of the nonprofit and the fund as it goes forward. Basically, this summer I'm looking for board members, people who are interested in being on the board of the nonprofit. Also looking for, always looking for a computer science person to help develop the platform and the website. And then in the future, we can take this platform to other counties, other regions for them to use for the fund. So if we have this nonprofit, we can charge very little or nothing for other areas to adopt this fund system, this zero interest fund. I am going to get an estimate from a place out of Conneaut Lake, if I can contact them, about the cost of this website, this platform. And also on the fund, what I want to talk about is you donate into the fund. Say you donate $500 into the fund. That'll be paid out to you in the back end. So you receive and this is a way for the fund to raise money up front to get as many solar panels out there as possible. You receive your value back in the back end. So you paid $500 in, you got a $15,000 installation, you make $100 payments for, I don't know what that works out to be, 10 or 15 years, and they're $100 payments, your last 5 payments on the loan are waived because you donated $500 to get the fund started. So that's how that kind of works. The other thing we might require is that if your installation is $3,000 and the panels themselves are $10,000, you might have to pay into the fund that $3,000 installation cost before we finance the rest of the project, the other panels, and that's just to protect us from people getting free installations and taking advantage of the install and financing their own panels on their own after we take them to the next person in the fund. So we want that value back. I designed these shirts. They say there's no can't in American. We're going to sell these shirts to raise money to develop the website and to go to the fund. So it'll be a 50-50 split. All proceeds from the sales of these shirts, 50 will go into the fund and 50% will go towards developing the website. The French Creek Farm come in. We could develop model homes down there. There's a couple buildings that we could incorporate solar panels into. And then anybody is open. They have the open availability that anybody can drive down and see the installed panels in the system working on buildings down there, so that they can see that. I'm going to try to get estimates this summer on those buildings and video those estimates from these independent companies so that we have an idea of what they are, what the process is. And if we get the installation or somebody else's installation, we'll try to video that to show the installation process, so on and so forth. So I'll be using my film degree to help develop the project in media aspects to build following and interest in the fund. There is a phase 2 to this fund, and it involves urban areas, subsidizing green energy in urban areas. I have an interesting idea with that, working with local business owners. So stay tuned for that in the fall when we can transition to phase 2 and focus on major cities, or at least the focus will obviously be Pittsburgh because it's the closest city, but the template will be there for other cities to use it. So I'll also be raising money by renting my tent at French Creek Farms. So if you want to rent my camping gear, all the money raised from that will be used to go into the fund and any other excursions I arrange for you out at French Creek Farms. Look for a Boudica Facebook page that you can join, and maybe a Boudica separate podcast that we can update people in the fund on that. So I'm looking to try to sell these shirts at the Krabby Kelly's. I'm in negotiations for that. So if you want to gently nudge Kelly down at Krabby Kelly's and say you'd be willing to buy a shirt from Krabby Kelly's, an American shirt, that'd be great. Other than that, if you want to book a site, just go to FrenchCreekFarms.com and put in the notes, if you could, Mitch Meller, or Mitch Meller referred me, or I want to help with the Boudica project. Any of these notes will help figure out what kind of I'll try to be on site when you come into camp, and we can discuss the fund or anything you want to discuss. So thanks for listening. Join me next time when we discuss, probably go back on track. I'll hopefully meet up with Bill and record some more jingles, get back on track for our BD versus corporate America.